significant amount of damage that was done, and then coming here to Monette and to see the devastation of this tornado. And what's unusual is, from my perspective, is the length of the damage and how many cities that it touched and communities that it touched as it was going through the state of Arkansas and continuing on into other states as well. And probably the most remarkable thing is that there's not a greater loss of life. We have accounted for 2 loss of life, one here at the nursing home here in Monette, and then we also lost one in Leachville that was at the Dollar General store. Now, those are our preliminary numbers we have. It is still early, but whenever you look at 67 residents here at this facility, I want to express appreciation to the emergency responders, to those volunteers that came, and the management that quickly took action to get the residents to other facilities, and obviously multiple numbers of those that went to the hospital as well, some in critical condition. And so I'm grateful for the response and everybody pulled together on it. Our responsibility now is to make sure that we have accurate damage assessments. We're going to have to do a lot of debris removal. The mayor here, of course, will be focused on this, as well as the local emergency managers. From here, I'll be going through Leachville and looking at the facility there from the air, and then we will be continuing to work to assess the damage in the coming days, and also to account for those that are still in critical condition and might have needs. I talked to them about the need for shelter, and we have our nonprofits, our churches that are standing ready that assistance and shelters need to be established. It's still early in this response effort, but it is really important for all the homeowners, and we have a lot of homes that we saw that have been significantly damaged, if not totally destroyed, and they need to report that damage. They might have insurance, but it's important to report that to your local emergency management so they can make an assessment, so we can calculate the loss and see if we qualify for federal assistance down the road. That is an ongoing process that will take weeks to accomplish that. With that, I wanted to ask AJ what you observed from your experience on this.
Sure, thank you, Governor. So,
AJ, you need to step up to the mic.
Please. So, Arkansas Division of Emergency Management, we stood up the Emergency Operations Center last night. Started taking calls, started helping the different counties, cities that were impacted. We will continue that. We'll keep the Emergency Operations Center open until those slow down. We've already got our team working with the local county emergency manager on damage assessments. That's going to be a key thing, so they're already working on that. We've got a few of our area coordinators from around the state that are coming up to help. So that's kind of the big thing, as the governor said, very important that we capture that data. So really encourage those homeowners who have been impacted to contact their local county emergency manager, and let's get the addresses documented so that we can get the damage.
Let me add before we turn it open to questions that we did have, I believe it was 15 to 20 minutes warning. The siren did go off, and that in and of itself allowed time for residents to get to a more protective place in the hallway. And so that warning system is always critical, and it's just a reminder that as residents, as citizens, we have to pay attention to that. And again, so grateful to the emergency responders and the volunteers that will be coming out in the communities and helping their neighbors to get through this. And with that, I'll take any questions.
Governor, can you talk about what assistance is available right now to people?
Well, right now, you call your emergency response team here in the community. Clay, you're here. Where are you, Clay? So he's our county emergency manager. I'm sorry, state, but an area coordinator here. But you call and ask for any assistance that needed. Secondly, obviously the mayor is here, and so the local community will respond to immediate needs. If there is food, if there's shelter that's needed, those needs will be met from a local standpoint. Secondly, if you're a homeowner and you've got enormous damage, make sure that you keep tabs on the loss so that if there is individual assistance that can be made available, then we have an accurate assessment of that. All of that is important. Right now it is response, it is meeting the immediate needs of the citizens in terms of water, shelter, and the local community is doing a good job in regards to that.
Do you know yet if you'll be declaring it a disaster zone and seeking federal aid?
The answer is today I did declare an emergency in Arkansas so that we can provide emergency assistance. We have 20,000 without power in Arkansas. They're working very hard to get that power back on, but the emergency declaration was important for that assistance. And then obviously one of the reasons that I came here today was to make an assessment through the air to see it personally so that we can start evaluation to see if we can meet the state threshold, which I'm confident we will. I have declared an emergency and we will meet that threshold. We'll see if we meet the damage assessments needed for federal assistance. But I have declared an emergency today. I know it's been locally declared in 4 counties in northeast Arkansas, and we'll continue to assess it as to whether that should be expanded.
Governor, you have a lot of stats to make today, a lot of territory to cover. Why was the nursing home here an important stat for you?
Well, because I knew that it was totally demolished. I knew that we had a loss of life, and concerned about making sure that the residents have the places that they need to go and are properly cared for. Obviously, the owners, the manager here has taken those steps that are necessary, but this is sort of the center point of the damage. Obviously, Leachville and many other cities damaged as well, but I thought it was important to be here. Monette, sort of the center point, and where we had a significant amount of property damage and loss of life.
Governor, we're hearing words like catastrophic. Can you describe to me the damage that you saw inside the nursing home?
Well, it is catastrophic. It's a total destruction, and it's just, until you see it yourself firsthand, you really don't appreciate the destructive nature of a tornado. And so it is that way. Now, whenever you look at Kentucky that had up to 50 loss of life, it does put things in perspective, and it makes you grateful that there was a greater loss. And that's probably what struck me the most as I flew over and I went into this facility, that there was not more that lost their life as a result of this incredible, powerful tornado that we saw. And our hearts goes out to those families. And you asked me about coming here. I try to meet with families or those that have been harmed. Obviously, the families in this circumstance are with their loved one in the hospital or in another facility. It just illustrates the incredible damage that's done here, the fact that no one is here today. And so, but that's one of the reasons I'm here. I'm very grateful for the owner and management and their attention to it as well. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Governor.